Well. Beautiful people, best damn nation. Let me talk to you. This is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. You could be anywhere in the world, but you ain't right here watching your boys, and we appreciate that, each and every one of you. Thank you for making this podcast relevant. Put it on the island of relevancy. My name is Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. This man, his name is Mr. Everything. He is everything. He does everything. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass. Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews.
Yo. First and foremost, I acknowledge the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. Oh, there is to be said, sir. The tribal chief reigns again. Next, we have the Sultan of Spices, Senor Fuego himself, Chef Showtime. What's happening?
What's good with you guys?
Oh man, we good, man. It's the aftermath of WrestleMania, fellas. We fitting to get into it. He is the resident villain of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. The Renaissance Man, the dawn of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Your boy LP is in the building. Yeah, man.
My fault. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
Yeah, I said I'm good. I said I do not acknowledge the tribal queen.
Oh, no, you didn't with the disrespect. How dare you, sir?
No.
Oh man. We all acknowledge Tribal Chief LP. Just being a little chippy today. We are the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Look, fellas, it has been a crazy week. I know I got to go ahead and get into it, man, with a little bit of hot topics. First, before we go over the WrestleMania recap, I have to acknowledge the big ass elephant in the room. You all know it, and it's all over the news. Everyone is talking about it. Fellas, I'm talking about the only one buyer that makes a lot of sense in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? It makes a ton of sense. I want to see where they really go with it. But Endeavors, who also is the parent company to the UFC, just bought the WWE. Oh man, you love to see it. I think this is going to be very interesting. This thing is all over the news. I really want to see some great crossovers, but I want to go around the room and see what you guys think about this whole thing. Let's go to the fighter of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, Mr. Everything. What do you think about Endeavors buying out the WWE?
It's a very, very interesting combination. I mean, because you do have a lot of guys that come from the UFC. You have Matt Riddle, you have Brock Lesnar, you have Ronda Rousey. What are they like? I don't really foresee a crossover with fighters because you're gonna have a situation where I don't know. You're gonna question a lot. You're gonna question whether or not these guys are really coming in here to play ball, or they're going to come in there and, in the words of independent wrestlers, get their stuff in and be selfish and only worry about themselves. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm keeping my ears to the ground to see what exactly is going to happen with all this.
Yeah, man, I think it's a very interesting buy, man. I think it's going to put a lot of eyes on the product. It's going to put a lot of money in Endeavor's pocket also, man. WWE usually sells out all of their events, especially when it comes to pay-per-view events. Let me go over to Chef Showtime. Chef, what do you think about Endeavor's, the parent company of the UFC, purchasing the WWE?
It's weird. I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna be a lot of static. A lot of the UFC players gonna want to be wrestlers all of a sudden. And, all of a sudden some of the WWE people want to wrestle in the UFC, and it's not gonna work out. I have a feeling it's gonna collide.
Okay, that's an interesting take, man. Let me go over to the resident villain of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, LPZ. What do you think about this move, man? Do you think the WWE made a good choice in selecting Endeavors as a buyer, or do you think it's a huge mistake?
I'm hoping that it doesn't have any effect on anything that pertains to wrestling. I don't want to see no crossovers. I don't want to see them mention it. I want them to act like it just doesn't exist and they just somebody that bought the company, because that way they can stay focused on what they got to focus on. I don't want to see no UFC fighters running in the matches and those stupid stuff like that, because UFC is considered, for lack of a better term, real, and WWE is considered scripted. So I don't think a lot of that is going to mesh well anyway with the fans. The fans who are diehard UFC fans may not even buy into the whole WWE stuff, and vice versa. So I think it's good to keep them separate. They just under the same umbrella and just leave it there.
Well, man, it's kind of hard to see that, man, because to be honest with you, I see a lot of crossovers already, man, and a lot of UFC fighters are seeing the value of becoming a WWE superstar. You have longevity in your career. You become a real life superhero or supervillain. You can put your skills to task, and I mean, you can get a doll. You can be able to put it in the video game. You can be immortal. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Other than the early days of the UFC, I don't know too many UFC fighters now today that would be that immortal kind of superstar in the UFC realm. I mean, obviously we have some of our favorites, but man, back in the day, the UFC fighters, man, were looked at like badasses and really personas, man, like Chuck the Iceman Liddell. You know what I'm saying? When I think about UFC fighters that have a reputation and made really their name cross over into other markets, I think about cats like that. I know we spoke about Tito Ortiz, man, and he tried his hand at professional wrestling, like LP said last podcast, man. Matt Riddle made that transition over. Ronda Rousey made that transition over. And then, AEW has started acquiring a bunch of people who have mixed martial arts experience. Do you think that this merger will attract more fans, or do you think that WWE purists will kind of revolt at maybe a brand new direction that the WWE might be taking? Let me take that question to LP.
It kind of go back to what I said earlier. I just think, I don't think it meshes well. I think there are two different worlds and two different fan bases. I mean, you get your people every now and then, but how many people from UFC have tried to go to WWE and it didn't work? It's probably a lot more we never even heard of that didn't work. I don't know. I really just hope it just don't matter. I'm more worried about another person I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about next. I'm more worried about this person destroying everything that happened in the last couple months than I am about Endeavor. And them guys seem to be more like, we here's the money, we want our money, we don't care what y'all do. That's what I feel like they're doing.
Mm, I think you might be right with that, man. If we have to talk about the Endeavors buyout, man, obviously we have to talk about the person who kind of spearheaded this whole thing, which is the one and only Vince McMahon. That's right, people. Vinnie Mac is back. Uh, and in all his glory as the thug that he is, Vince McMahon came out. And I told y'all that Vince McMahon said he was not leaving. I don't know. This man is bulletproof, Jack. I don't know. Let's talk about it real quick. Are you guys excited to see Vince McMahon back, man? This past Monday Night Raw, he was in the driver's seat again. Raw seemed to kind of it was exciting to me, but it was all over the place, and it wasn't really that many matches. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of moments that happened, and it was really compounded throughout the entire show. What do you think about Vince McMahon's presence being back? Obviously, he said that he was going to be there to close the deal on the buyout for WWE. But I think it's a little bit more than that, man, because people say Vince is back. He's ripping up scripts again. He's changing things on the fly. You can tell during the show. You know what I'm saying? Everything was it felt really improv. A lot of the stuff, man. Mr. Everything, what do you think about Daddy being back home?
It's done. It's very, very interesting. And I mean, we can't really talk about Vince McMahon until we talk about that mustache with him looking like M. Bison.
What are you talking? Well, sir, man, yeah, Vince McMahon has been rocking a new stash lately. Check out this piece of work right here. What is that, sir? That is the ultimate porn stash. That means somebody is about to get loved on. Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon came out in true villain fashion. He looked like Dick Dastardly. For all you people who remember the Hanna-Barbera cartoons back in the day, man, he had one of those evil villain mustaches, man. Vinnie Mac is back, and he's man, I think he's really shaking up some things, man. But let's talk about the mustache real quick. LP, what you think about Vinnie Mac's mustache, man? Do you think it's going to grow? I see you got a little mustache right there. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think he's trying to look like Walt Disney. I think he's purposely trying to. He dyed his hair because damn well his hair is not black no more. His mustache is not black. He looks like Walt Disney. If you look at Walt Disney, that is Walt Disney's signature look. And for some reason, I really think it's a purpose behind it. And it's not just he wanted a new look. Vince has never had a mustache. I'm about to be 44 years old. As long as I've been watching wrestling, I don't even think he can grow a mustache. I don't even know if it's even real. So Vince he did that on purpose, man. Vince, I'll be glad when we can say, I ain't even gonna say what I was about to say. I just hate Vince. I don't like Vince McMahon anymore. Like, that was the last bit of liking of Vince.
The last bit of liking of Vince, man. I'm telling you, Vince came in ready to do damage, man. He has put a strong hold on the product of WWE, man. And a lot of people saying that he's back in the driver's seat. I don't know. I've been kind of enjoying the Triple H reign so far. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want things to kind of go back to reverting how they were, and that's what it really seems like. But with Vince being in the driver's seat, man, that means that business is being done. So business has been done. And I think they might want Vince at the helm of things because they said, hey, you done ran this thing for X amount of years. I don't even know what, 30 plus years, Pepper, probably. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's really talking about the scandal anymore and the payouts. I mean, we fans, man, we already knew that. All the new people are just kind of coming around to it. But man, this means a lot of different things for the product, man. Do you guys think that Vince being in the driver's seat will hurt or help the direction of the WWE moving forward with this new merger? Let me go, Mr. Everything.
Man, this new merger. I mean, it all remains to be seen what exactly is going to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, Vince McMahon, he doesn't have the best ideas. I'm hoping that the guys from Endeavor, if they have any type of say so, will be able to silence Vince a little bit and let Triple H do his thing. I know LP is not very happy with Triple H's era of how things was running with WWE, but it ain't gonna get no better with Vince McMahon with his opinions and things like that. I mean, look at Monday Night Raw. How much they said that Monday Night Raw was changed by Vince McMahon throughout the entire night. So, I don't know. This merger is going to be something different, and whether the UFC guys step in or not will be remain to be seen. At least we can find something for Ronda Rousey to do because she ain't wrestling. We can at least find something for her to do. Like go do what you really know how to do because this what you're doing here is annoying and getting on my nerve.
Oh man, that's crazy. I definitely see that. Well, man, we'll see how it goes from now, man, and we'll kind of judge the product as it goes, man, because you already know how we get down. We tell the truth. We truth tellers around this piece. Um, Beautiful people. Mr. Everything has to say adieu. Real quick, Mr. Everything, tell people what you got going on and where can they find you.
Yes, I do apologize. I have another engagement that I have to step into. But this Saturday, I will be in Nashville, North Carolina for Max Wrestling. April 16th, I will be at the School of Morton, and you guys can follow me on Instagram to know everywhere I'm going to be. Instagram at official_Mr. Everything. And again, April 17th, mark that day on your calendar, and recognize what day that is because there's something special that might be happening on that day. So you guys take it easy. I appreciate y'all. And best damn nation. Have a great week. That's all. That's the word of the day from Victor Andrews.
All right. Word of the day from Victor Andrews. We salute you, sir. Appreciate you. All right. LP, man. We have seen the passing of a great legend, man. Bushwrecker Butch passed away just recently, man. A WWF legend. I remember watching the brothers get it in on my television screen. I used to love their antics and how they used to come down to the ring. That is very sad to hear that. I hate to hear that. Let me get your sentiments, man. Do you have any memories of the Bush Rocket Brothers?
I mean, that was always fun to watch. They was one of the, as a kid, you always laughing at them licking people's heads and they're running around. And I can't really remember how good they were in the ring, but they were just a fun. There was you liked to watch them. They made you feel good when you watch them. They're not on my top teams or tag teams or whatever. When it comes to back in those days, they probably one of the ones I did like to watch. You never understood nothing they said or nothing like that. And I like the interactions with like Mean Gene. Some of the interactions like Mean Gene and Body Brain, those kind of stuff like that was the moments that as a kid you just loved it.
Yeah. I definitely loved it. And you're right. I can't really remember their wrestling style. It just kind of reminds me of. It just kind of reminds me of the Briscoe brothers. If I can have a close comparison of, you know, I guess that kind of wrestling style is, uh, brawlers. You know what I mean? Just, but characters. So I see a lot of Mark Briscoe in uh, the Bushwhacker brothers, man. And uh, Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, we definitely send our condolences to the family. And also our condolences to the WWE Universe for this loss, man. It's definitely going to be felt. Um, but yeah, man, I definitely have fond memories of them, and they will definitely live on in our hearts, minds, and in our memories. Man, LP, since you and me, my brother, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see, WrestleMania happened this past weekend. We had to watch along. We all watched it. We commented on it. There was a lot of stuff that happened during that show, man. Both nights were pretty good. Well, I think we will have a general consensus that night one was a little bit better than night two. But you know how we do it, man. With each and every event, beautiful people, prepare yourself. We got to go back to school and get this thing agreed.
Excuse me, class. Class. Shut up!
Wow! Oh man, LPZ. Let's do it like this: night one, night two, and then overall event, man. What would you give night one by itself? What grade would you give night one of WrestleMania?
I believe it or not, this is probably the first time since we've been doing this. I would give it an 8.
Really?
I think the first night, this was the best WrestleMania there's in a long time. So I would give the first night an 8. I mean, of course it wasn't perfect, no, but the bad matches which was only like really 2, but all the rest of the matches felt like a WrestleMania. The matches didn't feel like normal matches. You can tell they were putting in a little bit more effort because of the grandest stage of them all, as they say. Mm-hmm. I gotta get a first night an 8.
Okay. You know what? I would give the first night an 8 too, man. All of the matches were hitting on all cylinders. Everything looked good. I didn't have no issues. I wasn't bored. I didn't really take a lot of bathroom breaks throughout the whole event. I thought that night one did wonders. And to be honest with you, on paper, night one looks like the weaker night. Other than John Cena being on the card, night one, compared to night two, I think we were all really looking forward to night two. But man, everybody on night one did an absolute amazing job. All right, sir. Night two. What would you give night two as far as a grade on the overall show, just in general, man? What you think?
Excuse me, I don't know where the yawn's coming from. Good Lord. I got this air running this AC. I would give it, I'm gonna be nice and I give it a B-. I don't want to give it a C because the last match was good and my boy Gunther's match was great. Those 2 matches by themselves, so I can't give it a C. I'll say B because the rest of the matches were just matches to me. I could have done without most of them. I mean, I did like the Bianca and Asuka match, but the match itself to me wasn't that great. I just love Bianca and I liked it when the intro at the beginning and all the other kind of stuff. So yeah,
we're gonna get into that in a minute. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say B-.
Okay. I think I'm along with you, man. Night one for me was definitely an A. And then night two was a little lackluster in some of the matches. I have to be honest, and I'm gonna have to be really specific too. The women's tag turmoil kind of match. It was a hit. It was a lot of misses for me. It was some things that were interesting about it, but other than that, I really did not enjoy the match. And I think that was a sentiment that was kind of shared amongst everyone. So they kind of brought the value of the rest of the night down just a tad bit. I had to go back and watch the Brock Lesnar versus Omos match again. And at first, we were watching it and be like, oh, okay, we already knew what it was going to be. It was a couple of moves. We knew Brock that was eventually was going to, overpower Omos, start suplexing them, and then hit him with the F5. 1, 2, 3, it was over. But the interesting thing about that is when I went back and watched the match, I looked at the fan interaction, and everyone was on their feet for that match. Everybody was cheering, and even when the 3 came down for Brock, the whole place erupted. So, although the match could have been better, I think for what we knew it was going to be, which was an attraction, it was a pretty decent match. You know what I'm saying, for WrestleMania. The Warrior overcame the Giant in a sense, and I think that spectacle in itself was really interesting to see, man. Also for night 2, we saw the Finn Balor versus Edge match, the Hell in the Cell, and that match, as far as Hell in the Cell matches goes, it really doesn't rank up in my Hell in the Cell. Am I tripping? Where are you at as far as rating that Hell in the Cell match? Although, be it was very physical. They had a lot going on, and I went back and watched it, and I enjoyed it way more the second time because watching it first, it's like the shock and awe value. Like, oh man, why are they doing that? Blah blah. And then we also saw one of the spots, man, where Edge had picked up a ladder and threw it at Finn Balor's head and busted Finn Balor open. We were thinking, okay, it's a Hell in the Cell match. People bleed on time. I've never seen a ref come in. Not ref, but the ref stopped the match for the doctors to come in to check somebody because they're bleeding. I haven't seen that. That was a new one for me, but obviously WWE cares about the health of their wrestlers, man. But via Finn Balor's social media page, man, he showed us all what happened under all of that face paint, man. If you can see that gigantic gash, man, in his head, and I believe during the match they had to give Finn Balor staples to be able to stop the bleeding. I believe this is after they actually removed some of the staples. But man, looking at that injury, man, it's kind of looking at the match and the injury, and you look at it again, and he was bleeding a lot in the match, in the ring. But man, looking at that gash, man, that was pretty hardcore, man. What would you rate that as far as Hell in the Cell matches?
I think it was one of the worst Hell in the Cell matches I've ever seen. It was just as bad as Seth Rollins and the Fiend Hell in the Cell. Like, it just.
I like that Hell in the Cell. I thought you were about to say what's my man name? The Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho Hell in the Cell was some bull. I didn't like that at all.
I don't even remember that one, but I think they don't need to do Hell in the Cell no more. I think they stopped it not because they care about the employees. So let's be honest, the WWE does not care about employees because they still don't got health insurance. All this Endeavor and all this other mess, get them guys some health insurance if you really want to talk about it. But don't nobody want to talk. Don't nobody never talk about that side of things. So they don't care. They don't care.
They don't want to talk about Bruno.
No, they stopped the bleeding because of things like in depth, which makes no sense. UFC got blood all day long. So to be perfectly honest, if Endeavor is now taking over the same people on UFC, blood should come back like with a vengeance because that's his part. That's what happened. I think it slowed the pace of the match down. It just Finn Balor probably would have kept on going. They are wrestlers. That's what they do. I've seen worse. We grew up with Flair, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, mask all over the damn.
It's bleeding all over the place.
So I think it would have made that match better because the match itself wasn't that great to me. I felt like they made it a gimmick match. They had all the weapons and they were colored different colors and
Yeah.
that's not a Hell in a Cell. They didn't need no weapons. You see several Hell in a Cell where not one weapon was used, and it was a hell of a match. Use the cage, use the wrestling. So that's why I was highly disappointed in the match. And the Finn Balor should never bring the I'm about to say the beast, whatever he calls it, damn whatever his damn dark side is. He should never bring it out again.
Demon. Oh.
He should never bring the demon. The demon was an NXT thing because he has not won one time. I saw a post. I don't know if it's true. They say he has not won. The demon has not won one match since he went up to the main roster. So I don't know if that's true. It could be.
I know he's won some matches, but he's the last 2-3 matches that he was the demon, he did not fare so well.
I don't think he won on the main roster as that moniker. I may be right. It's a fact to look up on Google and see. But I was really disappointed. I mean, I don't know what Edge got next, especially with Vince doing whatever he's doing. I don't know, man. I'm I don't know.
Oh man, like I said, I went back and watched it, and I enjoyed a lot of the spots. But then there were some things that were, I don't know. I just thought it could have been a little bit better. That concerto at the end though was pretty nice. I mean, you have to really be precise to not crush somebody's skull open. You know what I'm saying? With that concerto, man, and Edge does it the best. And I think that this might be the end of the Finn Balor Edge thing. God, I hope so. I really want to see Edge move on to some possible new competitors, man. And I would love to see them put a belt on Edge before he retires. You know what I'm saying? Let's go with that question. LP, do you want to see Edge hold the title before he retires?
I don't think he needs to. And I'm a huge Edge fan. Edge, I'm like certain guys need to let the other guys go over. Like Brock should have let Omos. Brock would not have lost anything if Omos had won that match. Omos would have gained everything. But right. Brock probably was like, I'm not about to let him lose. And it's the stuff like that. To me, Edge getting the belt would take away from Gunther, Austin Theory, and these new guys that they're trying to, push up.
The new generation. Okay.
I don't see no belt he could get that would make sense. He definitely ain't gonna beat Roman. By no means is that gonna happen. Even though I don't think he's challenged Roman since he came back. I don't think.
No, he hasn't challenged. He hasn't fought Roman since he got stacked with Daniel Bryan. That was the last time that Edge fought. And I really wish that Edge would have fought that match by himself. Now, Daniel Bryan did help in a lot of aspects of that match, but just in general, I wanted to see Edge versus Roman and Edge have that one-on-one time. He never had that one-on-one time. But to be honest with you, I don't think Edge can compete with Roman right now. If he still had the Judgment Day, then yeah. But this Edge now, Rude Edge is not scary at all, man. I don't think a lot of people, I think they look up to Edge, man, but he looks so feeble. I'm sorry, man. I love Edge, bro, but every time he step in the ring, I'm scared. I'm scared something's going to happen. I thought that the Hell in a Cell match was going to be a lot more brutal than it was. And it had its moments where they were really going at each other. But, I wanted an Undertaker / Mankind type Hell in the Cell. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave it all out there.
I think they cut the match. I think that once Finn Balor was hurt, they continued it a little bit, but, it was over maybe like 3 minutes after he got hurt. So I don't think it went nowhere close. Even when Finn Balor jumped through the table and all that, I think they rushed a lot of spots because there's no way they were supposed to be in a match that short. But they were just, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Finn Balor actually should be out for TV for at least a couple of weeks because he got hit with a concerto. So if he back, if he come back, I don't know. I didn't watch Raw yet, so I don't know if he was on Raw or not. He shouldn't have been on Raw. Was he on Raw?
He was not on Raw.
Okay,
he was not on Raw, and I'm gonna tell you some things that did happen on Raw. But yeah,
you're Raw next week, but still won't make no sense. You get hit with a concerto, you're supposed to be gone for at least 3 weeks.
You're supposed to be halfway paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. You're supposed to be twinging a little bit. You know what I mean?
That Phoenix 2 more months.
Yeah. You get hit with a concerto every time you walk down the street. It's like the dog in Up the Squirrel. You know what I'm saying? Just your attention is going to be all over the place because your brains is going to be scrambled on the inside. I want to see Edge have a title. I would love to see him have a tag title or maybe a sub belt. But you're right. I don't want to take that belt off of Gunther. Do I take that belt off of Gunther and give it to Edge? You know what I'm saying? Or do I take it off of Austin Theory, who is arguably one of the hottest superstars right now, whether people want to believe it or not. And then we're going to talk about this match that started. We're going to talk about it in a second because.
No.
You know why I say that?
Why? Because Vince back and he about to get
Daddy is back home. Daddy is back home. Vince is back home, and Austin Theory had this smug smirk on his face, like, "Oh, you know what it is. I'm back in the place. I'm back in the business. Daddy is home."
That would only hurt him. If Vince come back and start pushing him, and everybody knows why, it's not going to help him at all. The fans are definitely going to
revolt, but I think that Austin Theory has what it takes to combat that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, he's been struggling since he got the belt. Austin Theory.
Struggling how? Struggling is not. Yeah, okay.
Nobody
He has not been struggling in the ring. He's been pretty dominant in the ring as of late.
I'm talking about wrestling. I'm talking about as a character. Nobody cares about him. If he don't show up for the next 3 months, nobody will be like, "Where's Austin Theory?" Like, he doesn't matter you look at the Gunther matters. Bobby Lashley matters. Like, these guys matter that if they're gone, you're going to be like, where they're at? You know, like AJ Styles matters. Everybody's like, where's AJ at? Austin Theory could take off the next 3 years with the belt. And nobody will be like, "Hey, y'all remember that one guy used to be here?" Like, in order for, I'm telling you, until Austin Theory gets a faction or something, this guy's never. He will have to do a lot to get me to say he's that guy. And I know he's a heel, but even as a heel, you still got to have some kind of fan. Fans can boo you and hate you. Like look at Dom. Dom is the most booed probably heel right now, but people still like Dom. Like, low key. The new Dom, the new prison Dom is over. He is over.
Oh, okay. All right. So fans, if you haven't watched WrestleMania, go back. We're going to jump all over the place because there's so much stuff that's kind of congealed into each other. Let's start with the first match of night one, which was John Cena versus Austin Theory, since we're already talking about Austin Theory. Now, John Cena has said to Austin Theory, whether you win or lose, you still will not be relevant. In a lot of ways, John Cena was right. The match did absolutely nothing for Austin Theory, other than him hanging his hat on the fact that he pinned and beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Not a lot of people can say that. I will say that. But this John is different from the John Cena of old. You know what I'm saying? So I think I was more focused on John Cena's bald spot more than I was on the actual match. And I know I'm bald, and BLP is bald too. But let it go, bro. It's a distinct look. It looks good. You know what I'm saying? I think John Cena can have the perfect head for balding. You know what I'm saying? He just got to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? I was more focused on that big ass ball spot than I was on the actual match. I don't even remember what happened in the match. I know that John Cena slapped the STF on him, made Austin Theory tap out, but the ref did not see it. So unfortunately, that did not go. Off of the distraction, Austin Theory picked him up, down, did his move, and knocked John Cena out for the 1-2-3 man. And like I said, it really did nothing for either man. You know what I'm saying? John Cena loses nothing for losing to Austin Theory. I mean, obviously passing the torch over to the new kid and having him, retain his belt is the obvious thing. Because John Cena was not going to drag his ass on TV every week to defend the United States title. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Let's be real. He was not going to do that. So Austin Theory pulled off the win. Doesn't make Austin Theory look strong. Maybe. It depends on what he does with this new character and this new confidence that he has with this John Cena win. But ultimately, we shall see. But we're talking about Austin Theory right now, man. And, I think the boy, I think if he gets a good storyline, a really good storyline, or joins a faction, like we said, then Austin Theory will be really relevant. And he can get Dominic Mysterio type heat. You know what I'm saying?
They got the tools to do it. They're just not doing it. You got him and Montez Ford. You got, even with Riddle coming back, you got enough stars to make that title. Make people want that title. Like, nobody wants that title. Like, if Bobby Lashley really said, "Look, man, I'm coming back to get that title tomorrow," Bobby can easy. Just like with Bobby now, with the whole Fiend messing his whole WrestleMania moment over. So, what is Bobby Lashley about to do? Like, with Brock looking like Brock and Cody about to have a rival, who's about to fight? It's 5 months until SummerSlam, and everybody keep on saying, I don't know if people thought SummerSlam was next week, but everybody been saying he gonna lose it at SummerSlam. It ain't no way in the hell they gonna let that man keep that belt for 5 months. And that's if SummerSlam is when y'all said it was. Remember, we talked about it in the chat. I think y'all said SummerSlam is.
I believe it's August, September. I want to say.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah.
With Money in the Bank, that Money in the Bank comes in July. However that goes, it's just, if Roman keeps that belt to SummerSlam.
Listen, I think Triple H kind of confirmed it in the press conference, man. I don't think they are going to take that belt off of Roman anytime soon. I know the last podcast we talked about, and I don't want to bounce around because we're going to go back to the Roman versus Cody fight and then what happened on Monday Night Raw. I got to tell you all about that. I got all the juicy gossip, but I don't think that they're going to take that belt off of Roman. And I know the last podcast we were talking about them keeping the belt on Roman for the next, for him to be able to reach that 1,000-day mark. And Roman Reigns said in the press conference, he was like, "Man, we thought about the 1,000-day mark like a couple of months ago. Y'all just now on this. We thinking about a couple of years from now." He just said, "We just getting started with the whole bloodline situation, man." And I kind of believe that a little bit, man. But it's been a lot of heat. Let me go into one of the other matches that happened on night one before we go and talk about night two with Roman and Cody. On night one, we saw Logan Paul versus Seth freaking Rollins. LP, I want to get your thoughts on the match. First of all, the entrances were really good, and I think we're going to rate the entrances a little bit later on. But Logan Paul came in on the, what do you call that thing? The zip line, just like Shawn Michaels used to do. He slid in on the zip line and then dropped onto the stage. And then this dancing Prime bottle, which is an energy drink, this blue dancing Prime bottle came up and started dancing with him and walked all the way to the ring. I thought that was a pretty interesting entrance until Seth Rollins came out and was serenaded by the whole crowd singing his song. Oh, We all enough to do it. Those were some great interests, man. And then the match itself was really good. We have to give Logan Paul his credit. The boy is good. The boy can go. The boy can wrestle. I don't care how you feel about him. I don't care if you think he's a social media star or whatever. The boy can wrestle. He can really go. I think Logan Paul is better at a lot of stuff than about 75% of the roster.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much now. Come on now.
75% of the roster.
That number is extremely too high.
Hold up, no, it ain't. This man came in. He called his shot. First of all, he came in through the Miz. The Miz is the gateway. The Miz lets all the entertainers and superstars in. The Miz is absolutely a treasure. Protect Miz at all times. We're gonna go into the Miz in a little bit because some funny stuff happened. But he came in through the Miz. He had a match at WrestleMania. His first match at WrestleMania was against the great Rey Mysterio and Soggy Ass Dominic. But the fact that his first match ever was against one of the greatest of all luchadors of all time in Rey Mysterio. That was his first match, which he pulled out a victory on. His next match was against The Miz, and he beat The Miz. And we were all shocked and all. We weren't even looking forward to that match, but that match ended up being really good. Then he caught his shot against your tribal chiefs, the Roman Reigns, and put Roman Reigns through the ringer. The boy out wrestled Roman Reigns, Jack. He stole the show. And then now he has his feud with, Seth Rollins. He's going back and forth. Knocked Seth Rollins out twice. Seth Rollins ended up pulling out the win at WrestleMania, but it was a really good match, man. LP, what were your thoughts on the Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul match?
First of all, I would give Logan Paul his due. The dude he's one of the best celebrities. I think he'll probably go down to one of the best celebrities to ever do a celebrity match. But calm down with that 75%. I give him 5, 10, 75 is a huge, that's more than half the roster. Let's be honest now. You're giving Logan Paul credit for the spots. He do nice spots. He does all right in the ring. Xavier Woods would body him. Gunther Squad, Sheamus. It's a ton of wrestlers on both shows that would body.
75. 75. I'm talking about most of the scripts and most of the stars. The boy does it better than most of the stars. For this man to come in on his fifth match ever.
You giving him too much credit when Seth Rollins is making him
give him credit for being a businessman.
He's wrestling good too. Now let's calm down now. If those wrestlers wanted to embarrass him in that ring, they could embarrass him in that ring. One of the reasons why John Cena did not want to wrestle him, John Cena said he wasn't ready. John Cena said that. John Cena said Logan Paul's not ready for me. So that's why he did not wrestle him, and he wrestled Austin Theory. Is he better than Austin Theory? I don't even like Austin Theory, but I'm not even going to disrespect Austin Theory. Like I said, I would say he better than some of these scrubs, like Maximum Male Models or some of these other people you don't ever see. Is he better than LA Knight? No. So 75%, you're disrespecting. You're disrespecting. You're being very disrespectful. You're being very disrespectful.
Really, because like I said, to be honest with you, the boy got a mind for business and marketing. We're both marketing buffs. I know I've been a marketing specialist for a long time. This man knows how to get numbers. He knows how to get attention, and he knows how to call his shots against the top talent.
But that doesn't mean, okay, he went toe to toe for 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. So you're gonna say that he's 75% better than most boxers?
I didn't say that. Because to be honest with you, the boy is a real wrestler. You know what I'm saying? He has the background in wrestling.
If he
You know what I'm
wanted,
saying?
if he really wanted to be, he could be a legit wrestler. And it was a good match. All his matches was good. He always surprised me. But a long time ago,
I don't hit you with a butt after you said all that.
I'm gonna keep it real. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. We give him credit for his spots, the lariat spot, the him and Ricochet, that spot, him jumping flat foot onto the top of the turnbuckle, which we seen a bunch of other people do. We just ain't never seen no celebrity like that.
Do it right, you know.
You look at the celebrity list: Snoop Dogg, David Arquette. I mean, you look at the celebrity list; he's far and beyond. So it's shocking to us to see that, but he's still a celebrity. Like these other guys that they wanted to embarrass his ass and not carry him. That's why you put him in a match with a Miz. Miz is one of the greatest of all time. Miz know how to make you look good, or Miz can embarrass you.
Right.
Seth Rollins can make you look like a superstar, or he can make you look
like a sucker. Yeah, straight up.
Brock is not going to do it, but Brock can make you look good too. Or Brock is gonna be like, I ain't got time for this today. I'm gonna squash you. So those superstars. Look at Roman. Roman could have ended that match in 5 seconds if he wanted to. They made it look good. So I think sometimes we can get a man credit, but we can't give him too much damn credit. Now we can't go crazy and say 75%.
75. I'm talking about overall total package. And if I was not correct, then he would not be in one of the premier spots at WrestleMania.
No, he's in one of the premier spots of it. If there was other celebrities, look at Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny did great too. And
I'm not discounting Bad Bunny at all, but Bad Bunny has not had a one-on-one match.
I'm just saying Bad Bunny was the measuring stick until Logan Paul showed up. But if Bad Bunny could go like Logan Paul, Bad Bunny would have been in the same situation. Logan Paul is just that kid is very athletic. And you can tell he takes it serious. Whatever he does, he trains. You can tell he trained with whoever he trained with. Because I know wrestling, I would never definitely say I could go out and do it. I can't do none of that mess. But if you're a natural, even being a natural athlete, you don't always pick it up. Look at a lot of the people who try to not pick it up. He's just a guy that, he just can't. But I'm not. If he would have came out and just started being a wrestler, I would give him more credit. But I'm not gonna give him credit for being a wrestler. And he jumped in. And
you can't listen. You can't say that. Oh yeah, he's been in the ring with some of the best in the industry. Oh yeah, he surprised me in wrestling. Oh man, he has some really great spots. Oh man, he has great crowd interaction, whether they're cheering him or booing him. Oh man, he has some of the most iconic moments already in WWE history. You cannot go back and say, but he ain't a real wrestler.
I'm just
you know what I'm saying? And after his fight with Seth, you got to give him credit, man.
He playing with it. If I give him the credit if I really saw him take it more serious and wrestle some other people that ain't carrying him, get in the ring with somebody like let's go, then I'll be like, okay, he a wrestler. But he just, I'm gonna give him his props, but I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it the buck, man. I'll say maybe 75% of the female division, maybe the female. And hell, some of them, well, Bianca, Bailey, Becky, Charlotte, out of the WWE right now, those 4, oh no, them, nah. But the rest of them females, I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit too for what we talked about earlier. That female, the probably most people, the worst match of WrestleMania, that female
tag team, yeah.
If those females had that opportunity to show out in that match, like that was their chance. Your girl Rodriguez, and I've seen people say she was much better in NXT when she was a heel and all the other kind of stuff. Like that was the match where they could have really showed we the truth, and they made it a SmackDown match. Becky not Becky. Ronda didn't even do. Ronda wasn't even in the match. I don't know if Ronda hurt or what. Ronda just came in, did an armbar, and that was it. Like she getting them easy checks. So it's like,
first of all, Ronda's makeup was absolutely horrible. I don't know who did that.
it's
Bull
all,
to her face. I don't know if she was going for one of the it clowns, or I don't know if she was going for like God of War type makeup. I don't know. I don't know what that was, man. That makeup was absolutely horrible. It did nothing for her. And then you're right. Every time Ronda comes out, she just she looked like she about to mess something up. And I just hate it. I really hate it, man.
I think one of the reasons why the match that should have been her versus Shayna Baszler. But I think you know why they're not doing that. Those two can't wrestle together. They need Ronda needs a Becky Lynch or Shayna. They need the people to play off of them. Just like I said about Logan, if you don't have those people to make you look good, if Shayna Baszler and Ronda had a match, that'd probably be one of the worst matches. If they fought for real, that'd be good. UFC fight, that'd be good.
Fight, that'd be good, yeah.
But if they wrestled, it'll be horrible, and that's why they won't let them wrestle each other. That you think about that, Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey, that's a WrestleMania match.
That is a WrestleMania match, and they should have went with that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, but for some reason they go for the tag titles, and I guess a lot of these teams are trying to put more prestige on the tag titles. I know right now Becky Lynch and Lita has that belt. Are they doing something with it? I don't know where this is going. I really hope to see a stronger team take that off, but right now they hold it in the belts, and I mean, that's really making them relevant on the roster right now. Let me go to one of my favorite matches of the night, and actually, I probably have to put this match way up there at number 1, number 2. The Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley match was my favorite match of night 1, and I believe I gotta put it up there as my number 1 match, man. That match was absolutely amazing. It was a great match. It was hard hitting. It was everything that I wanted. The character work. It was back and forth in the ring. There was a lot of psychology in the match from Charlotte Flair, and to be honest with you, they both elevated each other to the point where Charlotte Flair lost, but she was smiling because she knew she just put on an instant classic with your girl Rhea Ripley. LP, what did you think about this match between the great Charlotte Flair and Rhea Bloody Ripley?
I think it was a good match. I think they put it on night 1 because they in case it overshadowed the main event of night 2. I think that's what it was.
It definitely was.
But it definitely lived up. I thought they had a decent match the first time they fought. It wasn't as good as this one because Rhea has gotten a lot better, and that's what it boils down to. Charlotte is still Charlotte, but Rhea has gotten a lot better. She wasn't ready earlier, and they try to make her that star now because of Judgment Day and her growth. Now Rhea is that star, and that's the difference when you do it right and you try to rush it.
Right.
That's kind of when I be talking about Austin Theory. He's getting rushed. But if they build him right, then he could end up being somebody later on. But like Rhea is a perfect example of what you can get when you take your time and grow the character. He's over. She's super over.
Super over.
Charlotte definitely will get the belt again. I hope Charlotte goes to Raw and starts to beef with Bianca because I want to see that. I don't know if they're going to go that route because it seems like Charlotte mainly just goes for the belt on that one belt. She don't seem to jump titles if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I will have to look at the stats, but it seems like she always wins the same belt. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can show you the direction that they're going to go based off of Monday Night Raw. I believe they're going to go with Bianca versus Rhea Ripley at some point, and it feels like, and I don't want them to do this. It feels like they're going to try to unify the belts. That's what it feels like. And I don't know who's asking for this. I don't think that is a good business move at all, unless they're trying to make Bianca the new Roman Reigns or vice versa in Rhea Ripley. where they have this undefeated dominant streak in the women's division right now. Bianca is in a class of her own, man. She's main evented 3 WrestleManias, man, and came out on top on all 3. Nobody else is done that. You know what I'm saying? And especially this is twice as the women's champion. So Bianca is on her way to having a streak. And you know, streaks are very hard to come by. So Bianca is on her way to having a streak at WrestleMania, man, and she might become Mrs. WrestleMania or Miss WrestleMania, as I say, you know, out with all Mrs. WrestleMania. I was right the first time. But they might try to go in that direction, but I don't want to see that. I want to see Rhea really defend her belt definitively on SmackDown. SmackDown, I think, needs to shake up in the women's division anyway. They need to move some people around just so we can have some fresh matches and some fresh faces really come into this fight. But like I said, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair was my match of WrestleMania. I thought that match was absolutely amazing, man, for the women, and I think they did their thing on that match. We also saw on that same night the Usos versus Sami Zayn and KO. Man, was that an emotional fight, especially the ending with Sami Zayn. At the end of the match, Sami Zayn hit Jey Uso with a haluva kick. Jey kind of crumbled into his arms. He threw him back to the ropes, hit him with again, with a haluva kick. He fell again, threw him back to the ropes, and then finished him off. I don't really remember a lot of Sami finishers, but this haluva kick and Sami is now finishing off people, man. He's really looking like a champion. Am I wrong in that, LP? What did you think about the Usos versus Sami Zayn and KO, where Sami Zayn and KO came out on top, and they are your new tag team champions, man. That's something that the boys have always wanted, and now they finally have it. You see the belts on them, the red and the blue belt. Friends, long-term friends, finally became tag team champions, man. LP, what you think?
Oh man, I thought to me that's the best. That was the best match, the first night to me. I think you're a little biased because of Charlotte, so of course you're gonna go with it no matter what. That match could have been trash, and you still would have said it was the best match. But yeah, I thought that story that once either they had to win or Roman had to lose, and you knew it was gonna be one or the other. Yeah. So once he won, you knew what was gonna happen on the other side. So I think that it's good because it builds more story. Now with Roman acting funny toward the Usos, and you know, where is it going to go with Solo just being around Roman and the Usos kind of getting outed? So it still adds more story. I'm hoping that they still take one of the belts off of them. I don't like the 2-belt thing. What you were saying earlier about the females, they tried that one time and it didn't work. So I'm hoping they don't try that again because they already know it doesn't work. And if you got a 2 top women fighting, you got all these other women that ain't got nothing to do. One of my biggest gripes about a tag division is you got these great tag teams and you only can have one group at a time fighting for it. That turmoil match should have been for one of the belts. They really should have took one of the belts and had and then the Street Profits could have had a belt. But yeah, it definitely was a good match. I want to see where it's gonna go. That's why I'm hoping Vince is gonna come in and start some stuff. Vince can really destroy the WWE right now by doing the mess he was doing. Because I know the ratings are definitely going up since he's been gone. I don't know the numbers, but you can't tell me that the ratings haven't gone up since. And I get Triple H hell because it was a lot. It's a lot of stuff Triple H has not done.
Triple H hell, be like, Triple H ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, I stand by. He still a lot of them call-ups have still not done nothing. So, a lot of that stuff, but the stories, the stuff that they've been having with the Bloodline and Sammy and all that stuff has been solid throughout all of this. Has been solid. So that is the main thing that's keeping people invested. To be honest, people are tuning in to see what was going to happen. People still tuning in now to see what's going to happen with this storyline. So they can't change it or ruin it. I still think Jay is a key part of something. I think him and Sammy story is not over. KO is still going to portray Sammy sooner or later.
Of course, we all know that.
Yeah, that's KO. KO is a better heel. He's one of those guys to me. He's a better heel, and he's gonna come. Sammy definitely. Sammy can be heel or face, but right now Sammy got to be a face. Sammy got nuclear fandom right now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so you got to see that going.
Well, let's go from the man who has nuclear fandom to somebody who has nuclear heat. Man, we saw a match that we did not know if it was going to happen. We have been saying for weeks. We even called the turn of when Dominic was going to turn on Rey. And he finally did. And for weeks, Dominic has been asking Rey Mysterio to fight him. Rey said, I don't want to fight you, me-ho. I don't want to do it. It ain't nothing you can say to me that's going to make me want to fight you. And for weeks, Dominic tormented his daddy. Punch him in the face, tripping him, interfering in his matches. The final straw came when Dominic went up to his mom and his sister and started talking trash to him. He threw water in his sister's face. And he told his mama to shut up in front of everybody. Rey was not going for that. Rey came down to the ring, punched him right in his face, and said, you want to match with me? Here's something. I'm going to teach you something. I would be remiss not to say that Prison Dom has impressed. Prison Dom has gotten better in the ring. Prison Dom has his character established finally. Prison Dom is a part of a group. And Prison Dom had a dope ass entrance where this man went straight from jail, got escorted by the police, and came to the ring to fight his daddy one-on-one. Oh man, it was a great entrance. I was like, oh, this is pretty real thought out. They make Dominic look tough. Until his daddy came out with Snoop Dogg in a lowrider playing Snoop's music. I can't remember what song it was, but I think it was Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, baby. Too low, now G's going crazy. Man, he came out, and then Eddie Guerrero's music hit. That got me all in the fields, man. You know, every time they put Eddie in there, I lie, I cheat, I thought that was dope, and then they hit Rey's music at the top. Rey Mysterio and Dominic are two of my top. Now, I ain't gonna say they're my top, because I'm gonna tell you who my top interest was. But they're two of my top interests, man. They had a dope interest. They had a very interesting match. At the end of, in the middle of the match, we all got what we wanted. Rey Mysterio took off his belt. Dominic was folded over on the turnbuckle. He ain't see it coming. Rey took off his belt. He said, I'm going to whoop your ass for your mama. I'm going to whoop your ass for my sister. And I'm going to whoop your ass for everybody in this ring. In this whole arena. Rey took his belt off and went to town and started spanking Dominic. We love to see it. The fans cheered. It was a great moment because everyone wanted to see Rey whoop Dominic's ass. And he got exactly an old school beating with the belt. I wish he would have made Dominic go outside and pick a switch off the tree and come back and double knotted that hoe and then wear him out. But he didn't do it. That's country style. You know what I'm talking about, LP. Yeah, grandma style. But the abuela won't out there. I think the abuela should have said something. She should have made Dominic ass go outside and get a switch. But the match was good. I want to get your thoughts on that match between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. What did you think about that? LPZ.
I thought it was good. It was one of the matches I enjoyed. I didn't expect it to be no 5-star match because it's still Dom at the end of the day. But I think they did a good job still telling a little bit of story as the match went on. Dom intro, to me, was the best intro of the night. I don't think nobody came close because the other ones was okay, but all them the other ones was similar. Gunther's was similar to Seth. And all they was like a little drawn out at the beginning. Dominique had that whole into a little quick little storyline. He came out with him. He came out with Ray Mask.
Handcuffs with Ray Mask on. Like, oh man.
If he would have kept that mask on the whole match, the visuals and everything would have been so dope. But like I said, I don't think Dom can wrestle with a mask on. But if he would have, and then somebody was saying the mask he had was a match, one of his WCW masks from Halloween. Somebody told me Halloween Havoc. I don't know.
I don't think that was his Halloween Havoc match because the Halloween Havoc he had like purple on, didn't he?
That mask that Don had was purple.
But did it have like the Halloween Havoc? Wasn't that a one piece? Wasn't that a onesie?
I can't remember. That's been so long. I
was a onesie. I think Ray had a onesie on.
But suppose it was one of Ray's classic mask or whatever. So yeah. I mean, if you got heat, that's what you do. Like you add to the heat, and it's WrestleMania. Like my biggest complaint was the lack of effort in the intros. Other than Dom, Ray's was all right. It was cool, but Ray's was typical of what they used to do. So I guess it was a throwback. Dom stood out because it was so different. Even with Seth's, I thought something else was going to happen. With Gunther, I thought something else was going to happen. So it's like I was built up, like okay, but now I was like, all right, like you think of the greatest.
I got to go ahead and tell you, man. We go. Let's go ahead and get into it because I was kind of waiting, but let's go ahead and get into it, man. As far as interests, man, who would your top interests of the whole event be? Because I have my favorites, and I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite. But what did you think were the top 3 interests of the whole entire event?
The top 3 will be Dom's, Bianca's. I mean, everybody really didn't even. So most people just came out normal.
Roman had the piano players, the organ players.
Let me tell you, I'm glad you Roman. I'm disappointed in the tribal queen because Roman should have had it. Roman should have had the Samoans coming out there doing all that, man. Like that was the chance for him to really, to me, separate himself from The Rock. Because even The Rock don't even really do that. But you were the head of the table. That piano mess was trash. If Roman would have had his family, no people coming out and do all, because that mess always was cool to me. If he would have had that, that would have been over. It would have been over if he would have did it.
I think you're right. I think if he would have had the whole entire bloodline come out with some of the ancestors, like if Rikishi would have came out, and if his daddy, Sika and Alpha, if they would have came out with behind him, and then you had the whole entire bloodline there, man, that would have, the optics of that would have been better than what we saw. I agree with you. The piano playing really didn't equate that well with a lot of the fans. Cody's entrance was really good, but he always got like $5 million worth of pyro every time he come out. So what I'm saying, was it special? I don't know. It was good to see that. So you said, who are your top 3? I know you said that you put
Don, Bianca, and I guess I'll say Gunther because I can't really think of nobody else that really had nothing that stood out. Even Charlotte, I was shocked. I thought she would come out rogue out. I was like, come on now, you're not gonna go out with like, come on, like your daddy, come on. Charlotte was very tame for some reason for me.
Yeah. Charlotte was very much tame, sir.
Even Ballas, Edge. I would say Edge, but he didn't do nothing.
I thought the Brood was going to come out, and they did not. I think Edge's interest was okay. He had the mask on, the what do you call it, the skull.
don't know what the hell that is. There's nothing to do with no
What
vampire.
is it? What's the little thing that hangs from the ceiling during party? What's it? A mirror ball?
Disco
A
ball.
disco ball. He had a skull disco ball mask on and
Yeah.
some weird looking wings, and it was just I don't know. I didn't quite get it all the way.
Them Dollar Tree, them Party City wings.
Yeah, Party City wings. He had the Party City wings. He went to Dollar Tree and got the wings from Dollar Tree and just stuck them together.
Y'all got way too much money for them bull crap wings.
Way too much money, man. I have to say, and there was a lot of entrances, man, that really caught my eye. Like I just mentioned, Dominic's entrance was really good. Rey Mysterio's entrance was absolutely legend. But I have to say that my favorite entrance has to be the Bianca Belair entrance with the dance troupe from Compton. The little girls came on stage. They started dancing. They was killing it. I was like, oh snap! I was out there bouncing. I had my imaginary, what do you call it? Imaginary ponytail. I was swinging it. I was with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, this is dope. The interesting thing about that, there was a little girl at the end who was a contortionist, and she rolled her body like through the group of girls, and then stood up, and then just started. She did this back bend, and it was really, I was like, oh man, this little girl is really talented, really good. Until you heard the backstory of what happened, the little girl, and I'm gonna show a picture of it, man. This is why representation matters, man. This little girl right here, she performed, she was a contortionist, her whole troupe killed it. But the morning of one of the biggest performances of her life, her mother died. Man, hit you in the inside parts, don't it? Her mother died the morning of the biggest performance of her life in front of 80,000 people. She killed it with a smile on her face. You wouldn't even know that nothing went wrong. And then you heard the backstory of how the little girl mama died, and it's like, oh man, to show the strength that it takes to go on stage. Man, I'm talking about, bro. I cried a little bit. I'm a pretty tough dude, man. I don't cry for a lot of stuff. When I heard that, I was like, oh God. Man, I thought the entrance meant so much. The representation of the little girls, how they have a champion that looks like them and that competes and is strong and is positive. Ain't out here disrespecting folks. Bianca holds herself at a really high esteem, and that's why I like Bianca as a character and as a woman, even though she has some little hints of ghetto-ness in there, which, that's part of her character that she carried on from NXT. But just the way that she's held the title with such esteem and respect, man. All of these little girls showed up dressed like Bianca, and for this little girl to power through that performance because she was going to be on stage with Bianca Belair, that transcends wrestling. That transcends entertainment. That goes to the core of why a lot of people actually love wrestling, man, because it really motivates and empowers a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a beautiful moment. To me, that was the one of the best entrances. I know some people going to disagree with me. Sue me, whatever. I thought that entrance was absolutely amazing. I thought it was good, man. And of course, you have Seth Rollins when he came out. He had the Shawn Michaels pink. What do you call it? I don't even know what you called it. It was like a collar shirt that was all pink, reminiscent of Shawn Michaels, and Jeff Jarrett has worn the same thing before also. I thought Seth Rollins, he always has a great entrance, man, to me. Seth Rollins, how the fans serenade him. There's only so many wrestlers where people actually sing a wrestler in. And Seth Rollins definitely commands the voice of all of the fans, man. And I know he sat there and soaked in that moment of everybody singing his song. I thought he had an absolutely great entrance also, man. But yeah, my top got to be Bianca. Number 2 is Rey Mysterio. Number 3, Dominic. Dominic had the most really surprising entrance, man. Real quick, LP, man, before we end the night, I want to talk about the Drew versus Gunther versus Sheamus match. This match was a very hard-hitting match. It was one of the best matches on the entire WrestleMania card on both nights. The boys went at it, as Big E would say. Big men slapping meat. You heard the chops all the way, all over the world, man. They were going at it. Gunther was chopping everybody. Drew was chopping Gunther. Drew got a heavy hand too, man. Drew chops look like they hurt. You know what I'm saying? They was going at it. Real quick, LPZ, what did you think about this match? Did it hold up to the hype? And what is this rank on your WrestleMania card of best matches of the night?
It definitely ranks up there. It was it probably was the second best Saturday for Sunday. I have to think if I had to rank all shows, both shows back to back. But yeah, I think it stood up. I think they made the smart decision making it a triple threat. I think that if it was one-on-one with any one of them, it would have been a good match, but it wouldn't have been as good. I think with all three of them, that was a good story. I think Sheamus is going to be the one to end up taking the belt off of Gunther, just because they're going to give Sheamus that belt because he's never had it. That's the only reason why I see him getting the belt. But yeah, I mean, Gunther is moving up in the ranks. The more he does, the more people. Ever since the Rumble, like I said, people have been waking up and seeing that this guy is pretty. He's pretty good. If you really paying attention, his body shape is changing as well. He's getting more cut. I noticed that in this the last match. I think he's trying to, because with Gunther, he's supposed to be a power guy, but he really is not. He really is just a good wrestler. He's not they try to make him like he's not a Bobby Lashley. Yeah, he's not a power guy. He's just an old school. And to me, he reminds me like an old school wrestler. And that's why I think people like it. And even his whole persona is like, who's gonna step up? Which one are you gonna step up to the challenge? Like he be talking like if you want this belt, we gotta fight for it. So, and this like typical triple threat matches, one person is out majority of the time, the other people are wrestling. But they did a good job, man. You can't fake them chops. Like that's one thing about everything in wrestling. You can fake the hits. You know how to take them bumps. You can't do nothing with them chops. If somebody slap you across your chest with their full mic, you feel every bit of that. Like I couldn't imagine being slapped across the chest by Sheamus or Drew or even Gunther. Like I would take one. I don't know if you ever watched those people do those slap contests when they be slapping each other back and forth. Imagine being slapped by Gunther or somebody. You'd be asleep. So, big ups to all of them for taking them brutal chops to their bodies, man, because that was probably some internal bleeding might have went down when the match was over.
Oh, I for sure saw some bleeding under the skin with a couple of those cats, man. The chops were absolutely horrendous, man. Like they were just going at each other, man, and that's what I really want to see. I want to see a brawl. I want to see a fight. I don't want to see nothing friendly about nothing. I wanted to be definitive, man, and actually the match was really good. Gunther ended up pulling off the win like the ring general that he is. I thought that was a great match, man, and it was one of my top matches for the WrestleMania card. Couple of honorable mentions, man. Pat McAfee and The Miz happened on night one. I was happy to see Pat McAfee back. Every time I see Pat back, it's always a great moment. He put paws on The Miz, you know what I'm saying? And then hit him with a punt kick, knocked Miz out 1, 2, 3 cold. It was a great moment for me. Another great moment that actually happened on night two. And I know I want to talk about it real quick before we end the show, man. But the Miz was in the ring, and then Snoop, he was having some banter back and forth with Snoop, where he felt like Snoop kind of disrespected him a little bit, and Snoop was like, you know what, I got somebody for you. Next thing you hear, here comes the money, here comes the money. Shane McMahon came back in all his glory, man. Shane had some hot sneakers on, ran down to the ring to a big pop, man. Everybody absolutely lost their mind when Shane McMahon came into the ring. Shane was like, look, Snoop, don't worry about it. I got this. It was so... Soon as the match started, Shane started throwing them uncoordinated punches. Backing Miz up into the corner. He threw Miz against the rope. I don't know what happened. I think Shane tried to do like a leapfrog and came down wrong and blew out his first quad. Then he got up and then fell again. I don't know if he blew out his second quad, but I knew that first one was a no-go. He looked like a transformer. He was like a Decepticon. I was like, man, he blew out his quad. He blew out his knee, man. It was bad. He looked, and Shane is about how old? Like 50 something?
Yeah, he like 53.
50, 52, 53?
Yeah.
Man, when he blew out his quads, you know, anybody in that moment would be like, I don't know what I do next, man. Snoop Dogg stepped up. He was like, oh no, I know you ain't just dropped my homeboy like that. You know what I'm saying? Snoop was like, nah, man, that ain't gonna happen. And Snoop snuck the Miz. Hit him with a real soft soggy punch, but Miz went down. Then he got up again. Snoop hit him with another punch to the jaw, knocked him out cold. I believe referee Jessica Carr said, hey, Snoop, do the people's elbow. Do the people's elbow. Snoop proceeded to do the Snoop people's elbow. He bounced against the ring ropes real gingerly, right? It's like he did not want to hurt his back. He just softly bounced against the ropes. And he did this. First of all, the elbow wasn't a bad elbow. It looked pretty stiff. It was a solid elbow as far as, elbows are concerned. But he did the Snoop people's elbow, man. The fans went crazy for that moment. He saved the segment. But man, Shane McMahon came in and grand closing, man. he got rolled out the ring after blowing out his quads, man. We want to see you back, Shane, man, but that is not the final image that I want to see of Shane McMahon, brother. I hate to say it, man, but get better, Shane. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to stretch nuts out. I heard that yoga is pretty good. Just do some warm hot yoga. Stretch a little bit. Release them tendons. Oh man. Well, beautiful people, it has been a great show, man. We did not even get half of what we wanted in this show, man. But we appreciate you and we love you. Maybe we'll do a part 2 to this because we do have to talk about Monday Night Raw and what happened on Monday Night Raw. That's going to set up some big things for this new event coming in Puerto Rico in May with Backlash. We saw some interactions with Bad Bunny, with Damian Priest throwing Bad Bunny through the table. Where does that leave Bad Bunny and Damian Priest's relationship? And does Dom have real beef with Bad Bunny? We shall see as we continue to the next episode next week. LPZ, man, it's a great show. Let the beautiful people know what you got going on and where can they find you.
As always, you can find me on Instagram. Share the word out. 160 Cycle Street with an S. See fashion show April the 23rd. Photo shoots any other time. I'm always doing that. But you free and you're in Raleigh, not Raleigh, you're in NC, fly down. People are flying down to see it. Durham Armory. It's gonna be an amazing show.
That's right. You see, Queen Bee, if you're part of the Beehive and you love everything Beyonce, you might want to come and check out this show, man. LP puts on a hell of a show each and every year, sometimes multiple times a year. So if you're in the Raleigh Durham area and you want to check out something that's outside the norm, if you like to dance to the hits of Queen Bee, if you like a great fashion show, if you want to be around some really cool, hip people, you will carry your ass down to the Renaissance Fashion Show hosted by the great LP the Don. And check that thing out. Man, my name is Brian Renegade. You can catch me on all platforms at Brian Renegade. I got a lot of stuff going on. You can go and check that out. Yeah, so just go to Brian Renegade on all my platforms. If you get a chance, you can go to renegaderio.com, see what my old lady got going on, me and my old lady. And then if you want to donate to a good cause, you can go to blueheartsforautism.com. They got all kind of stuff there for you. But if you want to support the show, as I know each and every one of you love to do, first of all, let me acknowledge this. We just hit over 1.2 million impressions on our content. That is impressive. We haven't even been around that long, but we've been doing this thing for a while. And that just happened to kind of like in the week kind of thing. So, man, we are growing, LP. You hear me, boy? We are growing. We got some big things popping. So thank you for everyone who's supporting the show. Thank you for our growth. We got some new avenues that we are adventuring on. So thank you for supporting us. If you want to continue to support the show, you can go to our social media. You can go to our Instagram at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You can go to our Facebook group at the Best Damn Wrestling Nation. You can join our Facebook page, the BD Wrestling Podcast, for all of our content. You can go to our Twitter at Best Damn Crew. You can visit us on Twitch at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, and you can visit our TikTok at Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. If you want to contribute financially to the show, $5. As little as $5. You can join the Best Damn Nation. Check out our exclusive content that we have, interviews, and you can get all kind of goodies. We got bags, we got shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got all kind of goodies for your pleasure. So go down there to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, to support the show. Man, LP, you are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Leave the people with the final word.
Final word. Smile through the pain.
Smile through the pain, because it's always going to get better. You know what I'm saying? You survived 100% of everything that you've been through, because you're alive and you're kicking and you're progressing with your life. So smile through the pain, as the great LP has said. Beautiful people, my advice would be, before you do anything strenuous, before you do any activity, make sure you stretch. You know what I'm saying? A good stretch, I always do. You good stretch in the morning, stretch at night before you go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing that you want to do is blow out your quad doing a jump like Shane McMahon did. I hate to say it, but beautiful people, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week on the next Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. LP, Can't wait till you have your fashion show, sir. We are looking forward to seeing that. Beautiful people, we bid you adieu.